Hello, my friends. Welcome to day 2 of Get Good Limited. We are here in the opening round. This is the qualifying round single elimination bracket. A little later on, we're going to head to the intermediate division. But first, we're starting with the cream of the crop. We're starting in the 3,900 plus expert division. We've got x6tence taking on BlueWhites.
Yeah, we are here with the experts. These two teams have a lot of promise going into this tournament, and this GG is gonna be a big one.
Oh, absolutely. We're doing a shorter uh, version of our standard Get Good tournament. So it's limited availability, shorter time span, quick and dirty going in. So I mean, it is do or die right out of the gate to try to battle your way into top 8 and see if you can make your way into that double elimination bracket starting tomorrow.
Yeah, with this sort of tournament, you need to have consistency. You can't slip up once. You've got to keep going and think next game you've got to keep going, and next game you've got to win. One game at a time.
It is going to be a first to 3 series with your high seed choosing your first map and loser pick from there on out. So today, x6tence, your number 8 seed, taking on BlueWhites, your number 9th seed. They have chosen Busan as we take a look at our rosters from our two teams. Or we can take a look at the map. Oh, hey, that was my fault. My fault. But let's take a look at the maps. We're starting on Busan, like I was talking about. This is one of my favorite control maps. I mean, you got a lot of variety. We see a lot of Reinhardt listed for both of these teams. And I mean, I'm anxious to see these two Ryans go hammer to hammer. A lot of room for that, particularly on Mecha base, where you've got the two very distinct levels of play with your high ground and your low ground.
Yeah, both these teams liking Rush, and the thing is with Busan is so varied of what you can play.
Yeah.
Each map you can play literally any sort of style you want, and you can make it work.
It's going to get interesting once we head to not only Sanctuary, but downtown. Downtown is where I think things are going to get really interesting as far as positioning for our teams. It's something we'll really be keeping an eye on. Of course, on Mecha Base, you're looking to win that first fight and then go hold choke. And we're going to truly see these two teams run out with some Reinhardt compositions. Whoever gets that first fight win is in firm control on Mecha Base. Obviously, very important on any control map, but on that one in particular.
Precisely. And Trionyx is a big Widow player, and Widow is such a big hero on downtown. Really, really important to hold the whole point, really. Stops anyone pushing in, and I think Trionyx is going to be a big player going into this map.
Yeah, gonna be a couple by Denial in that DPS role. Well, it looks like they're starting with Marcus and Diego Aura for the tanks, with Sidior Frenzy coming in with Karn Gorm to keep the team alive and standing. On the side of BlueWhites, your all-finish team. They're going to be led by A3, their highest SR player. Been told that that's our player to keep an eye on, the Reinhardt player for BlueWhites. You've got Ghostick in the off-tank role with Mini-Veil. It's going to be your flex DPS. Those two have been playing together since 2018. A lot of synergy between this flex DPS player and the off-tank player. You got Xiaomi Sniper, one of the newest additions, just joined this team about 5 days ago. So we'll see if they can blend in with this squad, as we are going to start things off on Sanctuary.
Yeah, we're coming out with Rush from both teams. On the side of BlueWhites, we have a Torb and a McCree, and Eva's on both sides of the team. And then this is really, really important. You need so many abilities and so many ultimates when you have a Eva in your Rush comp.
I'm surprised to see this Torbjorn. The positioning on this Torb is going to be key. I'm curious if they're going to stick with the team, try to hold down this side room. As you can see, the bulk of BlueWhites in the red jerseys. IOC is not happy about that one. But hey, their patience serves them well as they find 3 opening picks. A3 winning the main take battle right out of the gate, and it just makes the rest of the fight clean up for BlueWhites as they're going to steal back control. Quick 9% on the board for x6tence, but BlueWhites now have the percentage building.
Yeah, BlueWhites should build up a lot here. And BlueWhites were patient, they kept that cool, and then came in together as a group really quickly, and it just caught them off guard, and Denial just missed the Mabel.
Another interesting difference here is the Moira for BlueWhites versus the BAP on the other side. The more greedy with the BAP, and they're going to get that extra damage down with the main wall splitting A3 off from the rest of the team. Coalescence coming out from that Moira, but it doesn't last long. A Fire Strike through an Ant Matrix. values the Coalescence entirely. Self-destruct thrown in as BlueWhites continue to invest in this fight, and they're starting to bring it back. A couple of kills for them, but Daniel's gonna find that difference maker before going down. It's a 3v2 left on the point as the Shatter comes in from Existence to try to finish off the last two remaining members of BlueWhites. The Moira does show back up into the battle to top off a 3. Sound Barrier now comes out, and Diego goes down despite being down a player. BlueWhites are somehow hanging on to this one dear life. Eventually, A3 will eventually fall, and this should be a cat going over to Existence.
Yeah, and Existence are throwing everything they can. Oh my god!
I see that! Oh my, yeah, the 2-kill Deadeye comes through. Self-destruct now thrown in from Existence, and despite their best efforts, they can't steal this point back from BlueWhites.
Yeah, and Existence committed so much to try and capture that. And BlueWhites just pulled it out with just 2 huge ultimates, the Deadeye and the Molten Core.
Sound Barrier online.
Absolutely unreal play. And BlueWhites just stalling that point over and over. And then they sort of pulled it out with 2 big ultimates.
Well, now it's just coming back with the Blizzard. As I mentioned, oh, the Blizzard gets eaten! Never mind. Blizzard goes into the void. The gobbles that one right up now. Might keep that Sound Barrier on tempo to try to dominate the rest of this fight. 2 quick picks. Main healer, main tank, gone. The other healer now out of the picture, and BlueWhites in prime position. All they gotta do is clean this thing up, and they are gonna take our opening round on Sanctuary and a quick 1-0 lead in our first map of Busan.
Yeah, and this is why D.Va is such a scary hero to play against. You've got to be so careful with using any sort of projectile. BlueWhites really dominated. They were, sorry, Existence. They need to come back from this. They need to reset and just come into this with a clear head and sort of change their sort of comp up, I think, because BlueWhites were dominated that first half, that first map.
Well, and one of the big edges they had was that extra sustain of the Moira, but Ollie has now gone over to the Baptiste. The only change we're seeing as we head into downtown, Minivale sticking with that Torbjorn.
It worked for them, so why would they switch off? I mean, Torbjorn is good on nearly every map. Like, his value just comes from being able to play multiple angles and play slightly away from the team, and you can do that brilliantly on this map.
Right.
Nolly Mabel.
But an early kill as well. Adrian's gonna find that pick. And they're gonna continue to press the issue. Pressure down, and Diego is gonna fall. That's 2 quick kills. Make that 3 if you include the D-Mac, and BlueWhites will start this one off first control.
Yeah, and they just got the Mabel, but Storm Sniper and Diego A3 were past the wall already. They got the flash off and they just closed down onto the May as quick as they could. And she just got deleted.
A3 already searched by the Shatter. Ooh, but a quick hit. Nice icicle takes you down and makes it out from BlueWhites. He's trying to hang on to this thing. Minivale pops the Overload, has the Molten Core ready to go as trades come through. Both teams missing their Baptiste, both teams missing their main tanks, and it's a 3v2 left on the point, favoring Existence, and they will flip the objective.
Yeah, they decided not to commit the Molten Core, but they only used the Amp Matrix there and the window. Well, but Existence have all 6 ults coming online, except for the Shadow, but that charge is very quick. BlueWhites are still in their fight mode.
Well, yep, the Shatter comes through from BlueWhites. That one gets blocked. Now Amp Matrix is as well as the Blizzard. The Immortality Field doesn't last long against that. Everything in the kitchen sink thrown into that fight from Existence, but it will net them the win of the engagement.
Yeah, they did hold it. That was looking a bit shaky there for them. But they committed everything, and it worked. They're coming up with a Shadow Bomb here, and they're looking at coming out against 4 ults for the side of BlueWhites. Their own bomb, both DPS ults, and a beat.
I'm expecting...
Lucio beat is going to be important in this next fight.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see David throw that bomb into the back and perhaps try to catch A3 with his back turned on that Shatter. Self-destruct invested from Ghost Tick to start things off. As a couple quick kills come through. Existence trying to take this fight in the small corridor, and BlueWhites were happy to oblige them as they just mow them down, run into the theater, find the cleanup kills. Now they're going to make their way to the objective and get that progress building.
Yeah, indeed. And they've kept hold of beat. That is so important going into this next fight.
But
well, the bomb shadow is still on existence.
Yeah, they do still have those 2 tank ultimates ready to go. Could be big, but your Arlington and bow support ults, as a matter of fact, from BlueWhites, and still multiple available from Minivale. Bomb comes through. He's gonna pick up one, but Diego falls on the other side.
Yeah,
Rabbit is gonna win the Baptiste duel. As they find a kill as well, trying to go in and invest. The Deadeye as BlueWhites kind of got separated on that one. The Deadeye kept the backline from joining A3 on the point. A3 got left out on an island and then just gets swarmed as Existence are going to put this thing right back.
Yeah, Existence identified that A3 was slightly out of position away from his team, and they just bulldozed onto him. BlueWhites played very, very passively on that fight. It was the last fight for them, and then they played at the back of point, and then the D.Va Bomb got an early pick.
Sunbreaker out, it's going to enable 2 kills. The May wall was just slightly off, and BlueWhites were able to get past it, charge through the Ant Matrix of Existence, and make short work of this. And I love their aggression. Like, they are very decisive. BlueWhites, win or lose, they know their game plan. They run in and they execute very quickly as they flip the objective right back. This has been quite a back and forth on downtown.
Yeah, very back and forth. And I think that's just sign of a good Lucio player who's able to control their team and run the tempo. And they're pushing in the May's coming in far left while the team regroups middle.
Special Minivale swap to May of their own as the Deadeye comes out from Tsunami. That's gonna pick up Diego and the D.Va. Oh my goodness, David Ginzo didn't get the DM up in time. Both tanks fall to that Deadeye, putting Existence in a massive deficit running into final fight. We're in overtime, 99, 97 on the point. Self-destruct up from Ghostix, gonna find Karen. And that is going to do it. BlueWhites take our opening round of Busan decisively with a 2-0 victory and an early lead in our first 3 series.
Yeah, that one looks really, really good from BlueWhites. They look really dominant on the rush. It was close to second map from downtown, but they were just getting the big plays every single fight.
And this was a fight win for Existence that we're seeing on screen now to play the game. But I think this was also the turning point. They threw everything they had into that fight and left themselves with only tank ults. And with that, they really didn't have enough. They fell behind in the economy from that point on, and BlueWhites were able to effectively use their ultimates in very wise fashion. And even making a good swap onto the May, didn't try to force anything with the Torbjorn. Kept on it for a while. I mean, it kind of worked for him. Protects your back line. But I think it was really the ult economy and that decisiveness that we spoke of that gave BlueWhites the edge.
Yeah, definitely. You could definitely tell that they had the ultimates when it mattered. And I think it all came down to that one single fight where they overcommitted. And it's a shame to see, but it worked for BlueWhites. They were very, very tactical and patient of using their ultimates. And I think it just shows from a good team who are able to control their ultimate usage like that.
Well, it looks like Existence have chosen Rialto for map number 2 as we head to our escort map. Funny enough, BlueWhites have this listed as their favorite escort map. Now, it's a lot of people's favorite escort map, but they could be playing right into the hands of BlueWhites. We'll see if that Widowmaker of Trionyx comes into play with these long sight lines.
Yeah, this is definitely a good map for a Reinhardt. And we've seen what A3 can do on that Reinhardt, and it looks dangerous.
Absolutely dangerous, and we're seeing some of that synergy that we spoke of. Ghostic and Minivale played together since 2018. They were on a team that actually won GitGud EU back in Season 4 in the Advanced Division, and they have since moved up and are now competing in the Expert Division here in our single elimination round of GitGud Limited.
Yeah, it's really good to see, and I think you can definitely tell between the two players that there's definitely something there. That sort of synergy that you spoke of, you do build that when you play for so long together. That sort of 6/10 of where the other person's going to be or what they're going to do. It makes a difference, especially in the higher SR where the small differences matters in games.
And you get that sense of timing. You know, they definitely looked all on the same page. BlueWhites, you could tell with their attacks, like I was talking about, win or lose, that they were all on the same page, moving in as a cohesive unit. Focus fire was there. They were able to navigate the May walls, which could give a lot of teams trouble. It did not slow BlueWhites down in the slightest. They just pushed right past them, speeding in at the perfect time, and everybody knowing exactly where they needed to be and who they needed to focus.
Exactly. Did you notice how many fights there were in that map? There were so many, and that just shows testament of how quickly they die and how quickly they get kills, and that just shows a sign of a good team on both sides, especially for x6tence as well. They were getting Daniel was getting very good value on the May wall. He got 3 or 4 very good picks, especially on it. Like he gave A3 trouble.
A little bit. There was one in particular where Daniel got caught out. Excuse me, where A3 got caught out by Daniel's May wall. Also, I mean, like the Deadeye did a good job of separating him as well. So that tells me his x6tence understands their win condition. They're trying to get this Reinhardt separated from the pack. But it's going to be a tall ask with this coordinated team the BlueWhites are bringing out. BlueWhites now in the blue jerseys. That makes my OCD happy. As they're going to start us off on the defense as we head into map number 2. Looks like they are sticking with the Rhine Diva, but we're going to see Minivale on that Echo with Suomi going over to the McCree.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's probably a good switch for them. We see Trionyx going to that McCree as well, but we definitely see the rule from both these sides. The Rhine Diva, and I think that Diva play is going to make the difference between each side. That Ghostic and David Enzo. I want to see ultimates eaten, and I want to see good support for the Reinhardt, so let them pop off.
Yeah, off-tank play is so important. Get gates open as this attack is underway. Both teams sticking with the Lucio Bat support line.
BlueWhites holding quite far back.
Yeah, they're just going to hold courtyard. They're not going to try to do any early poke across the bridge. Yeah.
It's always dangerous on this map because you know. People can get picked off very early. If they're playing a Widow, sitting on the high ground.
Forced back, the separation was there A3 somehow stays up in that fight. You see Minivale come through and find several picks with the focusing beam, and the defense holds on. It was looking pretty treacherous there for a moment.
Yeah, they got a couple of picks. It could have gone either way. Really can't tell. Like at this minute, it's just whichever DPS is popping up the hardest. And the Echo is getting insane value. The pulse is right hard down and just put pressure on the team.
Both Matrix out. It's going to be David finding the first blood in this fight. Make that a pair for the team player. Now the self-destruct thrown in from the defense, and well, that is going to do it. They do lose Diego along the way, but x6tence win the fight. You still have Ghostic up top, and it's going to be able to contest here on the back end. As A3 returns, the contest comes through with just less than 3 meters left to go. But the Maywall's going to separate the tanks out. You see Ollie makes their way around the wall and is able to get everybody healed up. Video goes down on the flank. Earthshatter comes through from Diego just to help close out this fight. And that's going to do it. x6tence will pick up point A. They do lose Diego once again. The Reinhardt can't keep up. Smider just giving the edge over. A3 finds 3, but the cat comes through.
So they got off caught. Unlucky. I don't think there's anything they could have done about that. A3 was stuck in the room with the D-bomb going off. So we can't call out a C9, but it's okay. I mean, you saw David early in that fight playing very aggressive, diving into the backline and getting 2 kills, but that did mean he was missing for that last fight, for where they were holding, which could have been very dangerous and could have been to the detriment of the team, but it paid off. Denial's got the Blizzard and actually picked him up the high ground.
There's some barrier available. This boost does not get eaten this time. The Matrix was thrown in, and they're going to utilize some of that, but they got to be careful. The car is slowly drifting around this corner. And BlueWhites really have nothing to stop with it now. Both support ults already invested, and really nothing to show for it. Now sound barrier and the Matrix from the other side, and BlueWhites find themselves on the back foot. They're going to rotate up the stairs, try to LO less the double damage. Minivale with yet another duplicate already online. Kind of threw away the last one, but he's got another one ready to go. Going over the top. He's going to find a nice kill on the Baptiste. Great shot with that primary fire. And despite a little bit of a haphazard investment of their support ults, BlueWhites still managed to pull it out.
Yeah, that was really nice to see. And this section on this map is just so hard to cap. But these stairs are so powerful to hold its defense. And I love to see Minivale there, the flick with the sticky bombs. Wow. What technical play. Like, it's really, really good to see. And we're coming up with a copy and a high noon on the side of BlueWhites. So this should be really, really in their favor to hold. I expect to see an early copy, I think.
Still on the high ground. They have a pair of ankles of their own to try to break through the corner. He goes in a lot of trouble. Nice immortality kill, keeps him alive in the meantime. As the self-destruct comes out over the top, buys a little bit of breathing room. But the shatter comes through from the other side. Huge shatter. Deadeye did find two, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. It might have just been the trick, especially with that late kill on the Minivale. All right, Ollie goes down as well. And x6tence managed to brawl their way around the corner of death.
Still there. At least 4 of them on point.
Yeah, they're going to get run off. Nice Lucio speed gets BlueWhites back, and they're able to contest with less than 5 meters left to go on point B.
Yeah, that's a really, really good play. And we've got still got the copy up for the Echo on the side of BlueWhites. I think that's going to come in, especially on this point. It's going to be really, really big ultimate.
In from the defense, they've already lost one of each of their roles. Only 3 members left. I think we're going to finish off Minivale, and that'll finish off point B.
That's what we like to see. The DPS BAP, so dangerous if you don't respect it. Really, really big play. And honestly, like, you can roll, like, with this sort of comp, it outputs so much damage that if you don't respect it, you don't prepare with the positioning and the support, you can be in trouble. And that's the issue there.
Copy the right heart, right on cue. He's gonna drop into the back. Concerns some heads and allow room for this Deadeye to come through. The big shatter from the duplicate. The immortality field is out. Down barrier so far. Even x6tence alive in the fight. Well, everybody but Trionics at least. And that eventually is just too much, and x6 gets overwhelmed. Nice! Valiant attempt from Senior Freezing.
Yeah, for sure. And really, they couldn't do much about that. After that Echo copy came up, they were just in too much mayhem and too much chaos to really come back into the fight there. They were just down too many abilities. They committed the immortality to save from the Grand Shatter from the copies, and I think after that they were just done. But they're coming into this fight with a bomb shatter.
An Ant Matrix. They blocked their own Ant Matrix with the May wall. A little bit of miscommunication, I think, from the attacking team as the shatter comes through, makes it right through the shield. Diego should have had that big square up. That was not the time to get aggressive. As A3 flattens the front line, and BlueWhites move in and clean up the fight.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't realize the Ryan had shatter. But Diego's coming up with his own shatter here. Let's see if he can pull this back and see if he can pull up a bigger one than A3.
Well, they've got a minute 15 to make something work. 75 seconds. Still, both of those tank ults ready to go. Blizzard as well. Ghostic has already eaten one of Daniel's Blizzards today. We'll see if they can do it again here. Defense does have an Ant Matrix as well as a Deadeye of their own. Suomi has been very good. The newest addition to this team of BlueWhites has been absolutely crucial with these Deadeyes. Not typically what you see a lot of values. You see the early wall come up. Ant Matrix out from the defense, and the fire strike through that. And there it is! Suomi finds 2! Just pinpoint with these Deadeyes. Perfect timing, perfect positioning, and another fight win. 39 seconds on the clock.
I mean, you called it. You called it. Somi's been getting value out of these Deadeyes all day long. All day long. Every single one he's gotten like 2 kills. I mean, you see so many top players just throw away Deadeye just for the reload. But we're coming up to a Deadeye of their own on the side of x6tence, and they need to cap this. You need to get it around this corner, and you need to finish this point. It's coming out.
There's another eat! Ghostic eats another one, and Minivale gets theirs out. It gives us slowly solid. Nothing they can do but stand there and watch. There's a self-destruct by both Reinhardts, but nobody's on the cart. And
Pressure on car.
will have to settle for 60.98 meters on point 3. They did manage to get it up the hill and around that first corner, but they were not able to get it inside the cathedral.
Yeah, again, I think it's just using your ultimates effectively. Like, BlueWhites are doing it so well. Every single one. Every high noon, every blizzard. They're just coming off. It's coming off for them. And we're seeing something different here. Oh, okay, never mind. We don't see the Roadhog. But we're moving off the Baptiste for the BlueWhites.
Well, they still have 23 seconds to change their mind on that. My focus is on this defense right now. Are we going to see any changes from existence here? And so far, they're not giving us any signs of that. No.
And they're out. Yeah, it worked for them. They got it pretty far, but the comp was working better for BlueWhites. So I would be worried for them. They need to switch something up, or they need to be getting their ultimates out a bit more effectively.
Looks like Senor
Freezy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was curious if they're going to go for the bridge move, but no, they're going to play it safe. They're just doing a bit of scouting. We do see Ollie back on the Moira for that extra sustain to the front line, as Ghostic is going to go challenge the Highbrow. Existence are choosing to sit up here, and like you mentioned on the opening round, it can be dangerous, and there it is. Karn goes down early from the shots from Suromi's sniper, and without their BAP, this is a massive disadvantage. The front line has all the health, all the sustain in the world to just march this part through. Existence have to just sit and watch and wait for their BAP to get back in this fight.
Yeah, they need the Baptiste before they engage, otherwise it's game over. And after one fight rolls, that could be it for the whole map.
Especially if they can push the huge tie bake. Nice shot. Contest with less than half a meter left to go on the back end. Lands the flashbang, but the ice block comes up. But it's the front line of A3 and Ghostic cleaning up everybody else. And Ghost 91 finding a pair of kills on the Lucia.
Something's already coming up to that high noon. That is really, really quick. And they're playing really, really well and patiently, and then exactly when they need to, they push in aggressively. I think it just goes to show how well this Lucio player is playing. Ghost 91 playing so well. I don't know whether it's him leading the calls or if it's the main tank, but whichever one is doing it, congrats. You're a great player.
Interesting. Now they're kind of split.
Yeah, they're not playing the stairs.
I mean, like half the team are, and half the team are up on the overhang. Oh, looking for that blizzard, which does come through, coupled with the Deadeye. It's gonna net them Ghostic, so Omi's gonna fall as well. And Existence will finally put the brakes on this cart to corner a death point B.
Yeah, for sure. And Existence have got the ultimate advantage here. They've got both tank holds and the beat, but we can't have the similar sort of sides for BlueWhites.
And seeing a blizzard for them as well.
Yeah, the blizzard's so good on this point. You can clear them off the high ground so easily. But with the Diva on the team, you have to be careful. Oh, so heavy sniper, then another pick.
And it's Karen going down early for the second time on a BlueWhites attack. And again, now they just don't have the sustain to try to challenge the front line. 8-3, an aggressive, deadly main tank, pushes in, they get back kill, throws the shatter down, finds 3 with the shatter, gets the charge kill, self-destruct is back on the cart, but not going to find anything. Just a desperation move to try to get David Enzo back in mech and buy as much time as they can for reinforcements to come through. Diego does show up, but doesn't even have time to press Q. Immediately deleted. This cart's going to roll through. They'll be just shy of 5 minutes to push in about halfway through point C.
Yeah, and that's a big time back. And they didn't even have to push through the choke. This is going to be a really, really big struggle for Existence here. They need to pull something out the bag. But they're coming up with a Mayot and a Shatter. Let's see if we can get anything from this.
BlueWhites won that fight with only the Shatter. They have 5 ults ready to go. It's going to be a coalescent self-destruct to start things off. The self-destruct kind of bounce off the wall, but still Diego under too much pressure. 8-3, winning the main tank battle yet again, and this card continues to roll. Oh, it's just a massacre. That wasn't even a fight. That was an absolute demolition. This Romy is going to clean it up with the Deadeye, and it's just going to skate right on into the box of victory. BlueWhites only got stalled once on that entire attack as they move up to match point with a 2-0 lead in the series.
BlueWhites are looking so efficient. They just want this game to be done. And like every single play, they just how quickly can we win this fight? How quickly can we lose this fight? It's just working so well for them. And how they're winning with so little ultimate. They're winning fights they shouldn't be winning with just like one ultimate.
Well, we'll see if their excellent ult economy, discipline, and decisive team play can close this thing out. We're going to return with Hybrid in just a moment. Can Existence start their comeback? Y'all stick around and find out. BlueWhites up 2-0 at the half in our single elimination round of GitGud Limited. Well, let's go get Bolter back here. Bolter, what can Existence do? Do they need to make some swaps? Do they need to change up their game plan? Because right now, this has been a very one-sided affair.
Yeah, it does look one-sided. I mean, apart from that downtown map, they look pretty even. That they've just got to do something. So, I think why don't they switch up comps? Why don't they play the dive Zen, the bull Zen comp, or double bubble, or just something to break the dominant rush comp of BlueWhites?
I mean, maybe
I really think. Go ahead.
I would say maybe it's just maybe some simple changes. Maybe bring in the Moira instead of the BAP. We've seen the Moira provide a lot more sustain, and the BAP getting picked early multiple times from Existence, or perhaps even in the DPS line. You know, they've stuck with the Mei, and Daniel's gotten that Blizzard eaten twice already today, and the walls don't seem to have the desired effect. You know, perhaps a Reaper or something to put more pressure down on A3. They seem to identify their win condition of getting A3 out, separating A3 from the rest of the team, and trying to take down that main tank, but they're not having much success in doing it. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. You know, maybe a Reaper to come in and try to put more pressure onto their shields, or a Hanzo that can add more shield break might be the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what they choose. As BlueWhites are going to start us off on the defense, Existence have chosen King's Row to be the stage to try to make their comeback.
Daniel is an Echo player, and I'd like to see him play Echo, to be honest. Especially on attack here. Echo is really dominant. Very overpowered hero. Mini Veil coming out on the Mei. Mei on first point is very strong. If you can get the Rhine blocked off, there's just so many good wall opportunities and wall spots on this map. And we're sticking with a similar comp to what we've seen before, the McCree, Diva, Rhine, Lucio, BAP, and just there's so much sustain in this comp, and Xiaomi Sniper is just getting the picks, getting the headshots onto Kangorn, and it's working for them. So I think why switch?
Yeah, Ollie back on that BAP as opposed to the Moira, which we've seen them on a couple of times today. A very defensive posture for BlueWhites, not getting too aggressive. Main wall not quite in position. Both main walls out, as a matter of fact. Trying to become a little claustrophobic, and Diego goes down early once again. BlueWhites focus down that main tank, and it makes A3's life so much easier. Already has a shatter on line and ready to go.
Wow. Yeah, that is a dominant play, and they are going for this final kill as a stagger. I mean, why wouldn't they? They are hungry for blood. A3 having this shatter early is just so big for them. They're gonna win the next fight off this for sure. And if he hits a big shatter here, then they're gonna roll into the future fights with so much old economy. It's gonna be difficult for Existence.
A3, Hydroid Statue gets the 5-man! Immediately 2 kills called through. A3, a pair of those under their name. Looking for a third to add to the belt. It doesn't matter. That was as decisive a fight win as I have seen all day long. My goodness, that was fast.
Wow, what a shadow. Sneaking behind the statue and taking them by surprise. And Existence sped in there really quickly and looked like they were gonna collapse onto him, but he put out the shadow last minute.
Now cool, let's start staying off. There's plenty of time to work with. As they try to push it, they take care of the mortality kill, but they still have that image to deal with. And Diego falls right out of the gate once again. The focus fire is so good. Self-destruct in the back from Ghostic. He's able to get the kill with the Buddy Blaster, get back in mech, and fly back in to take down the Mei. Daniel goes down 95% to Blizzard, and we're gonna have to work hard. Otherwise, Ghostic might just chomp down a third Blizzard of the day.
Yeah, and we've got both Blizzards coming up online, and we're going to be looking at both Divas here to eat. But we have the Ryan chat. We have the Ryan Diva Bomb chat. Oh, he gets one.
Just managed to comes that. And Minivale actually gets their Blizzard gobbled up by the Fifth Matrix. Looks like Diego actually went through and just have a clear edge, but they've lost Diego. And a second shatter from A3. And the self-destruct, though, takes out the backline. It's just A3 left on the point. David Enzo saving this fight for existence. Finds 4.
Yeah, honestly, what a play. And he was going for blood there. He needed to get those picks. Because, to be frank, the team weren't getting them. And he was like, hop on my back, guys. I'll carry this fight. And BlueWhites going for an early aggressive hold here.
Oh, Zytronics caught out. Terrible positioning in the bookstore. Did not account for the speed coming through, and BlueWhites were gonna just pounce upon them, and immediately both tanks fall as well. So BlueWhites not phased, bounce back with their signature aggression and reclaim the objective.
Yeah, they didn't kill him a lot of time off the time back using that, but they have the good positioning. They have the choke. That's so important for this next fight. They got the high noon and they're taking the high ground, so this is going to make them play a little bit further back, play a little bit more defensively.
Drop down with that dead eye, but the wall will be valued back. Well, let's just alpha the attacking team as well. Roaming has already gotten multiple kills with their dead eye today. Doesn't find it with that one. Just hits the DM of David Enzo. Down barrier out from the attacking team. Able to push forward. They're going to invest self-destruct. Excuse me, the defensive self-destruct is going to find 2. The Blizzard is out, but that self-destruct zoned everybody off to not allow them to follow up. Those supports do go down for BlueWhites, so they'll have to play a little conservatively here, but they win the fight.
Yeah, the battle of the divas. Both divas getting two picks in that fight. Like really good play. But we're seeing the Blizzard up on BlueWhites here from Minivale. And Minivale has been getting value out of all of these Blizzards. They're so well positioned, and they're not getting eaten by David Enzo.
Well, the last one did. The first one didn't stay there. We'll see if they can do it again. Because, like, I mean, prior to that, there's been a ton of value from them. Sure. Shatter on one of both. Shatter comes down. That finds up at the shield of Diego. This so far have weathered a couple of ultimates. Oh, but they can't weather the 200 hit point fire strike. This A3 finds 3 kills in that fight, utilizing the double damage, and the fire strike finds 2 in one fail sweep.
He's already got his shadow back. And that is so much damage. So much damage.
He just used that shatter. What is? He's got shatter on cooldown. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Quicker cooldown. Yeah, honestly. And they're coming into the next fight, and he's going to use his shadow early. 100%. Like, he knows that Existence haven't got theirs.
Oh, what a wall.
Oh,
wall
my.
up, Blizzard in, and Existence was just sectioned off in 3 different parts. Their own main wall worked against them, separated Diego from the rest of the pack. No shatter necessary from A3 in that fight.
No, not at all. And I think Existence is just looking a bit done here. They need to group up, and they need to have their confidence that they can do this and they can push it. Because their team are looking split here. Once your team is split, the May is going to get so much value, like Minivale has been getting. But Denial has got the Blizzard up here.
Start things off. Nice guy back. It goes to eat yet another Blizzard, but A3 goes down. Man advantage, player advantage for Existence. No maintain, but it doesn't mean it's a fight win as Diego falls, who only finds a pair before going down in their own right. Trade is coming through, and it's a 3v3 left on this card. BlueWhites are just going to fall back, regroup. Oh, I say that. There's still maybe even a Lucio on point stalling. Goes 91, eventually falls as this goes tick. And now BlueWhites are forced to reset.
I think they should get the fight here. They have the Lucio coming back to push the baby Diva back in, or the Diva back in, and they have the ultimates up. They have the Shadow, and they have the the window, which is both great ultimates to engage with.
Both sides. Shatter comes through and takes out the Deadeye. Devalue trying to ultimate completely. Soundbarrier out from the attacking team to couple with that double damage and then trying to push forward. Immortality for keeping him at base. A massive Shatter was laid down by Diego. That was the fattiest of Shadiest, and it's going to win him the fight.
I tell you what, like what I said, they needed to regroup and like have confidence that they can win this fight, and that's probably what they've done. They look so much better here. Those last two fights were incredible, and Diego's got leading this team like he's challenging so far, and of course that's what they need to carry on doing. Daniel needs to get his blizzard off here, but Ghostic has to be hungry.
Sacrificing their life in the process. Diego, the only Reinhardt standing on the battlefield at the moment, and it's coming up on yet another Shatter. Now it's Diego with their chest puffed out and building Shatter. The quick edge, you like throws it down. It's going to find Ghostic with it. Not able to quite find the kill. Is able to fight Lucio, but it's going to fall once again in the process. Their Hubris getting punished, self-destruct out from the attacking team. Now the defensive self-destruct much better. It's going to find Diego and eventually win this fight from the defense. No main tank necessary.
Yeah, and I wonder if the decision of just hitting that Diva with that Shadow was a mistake. He could have got 3. There was no Reinhardt there, and that could have been a fight. But they got to reset here. It's last fight, but they're coming up with against 3 big ultimates. There we go. Early high noon.
And I is BlueWhites around the corner, but here comes the Shadow from the other side. That's going to find 3, including main tank, but Mini-Veil goes down. +1 to the attacking existence, so they try to push it through the small room, using the DN to guide their way.
Yeah, and it's working for the
going in aggressive! No, A3, what are you doing? You just went into the bulk of the team, threw your life away. This defense was looking so strong on point A, and Existence completely flipped it on its head, turned it right around. Now the desperation stall picks coming through, but they're not even going to be able to touch Cart. Existence do find all 3 points.
This is very winnable. They turned this around. Like they've assessed what they need to do, and they can do this. They just need to carry on and have some consistency. These last 3 fights were incredible, and they just need to play like that the rest of this map.
It was point B. It was that when Ghostic's Pilot Diva and Ghost 91 stuck around on the objective, it threw off the whole thing. That was the first time all day we've seen BlueWhites look like they were not on the same page. They needed to fall back and hold that back corner, and they could have done it with Ghost's speed. He could have taxied back the rest of the team, gotten A3 up to this corner that you're looking at on screen right now, and I think they'd have had a chance. I really think their hubris got the best of them there. They thought they could just stall on the cart and survive long enough for the rest of the team to get back there. They don't. They get demolished. The defense just gets rolled from there. Now BlueWhites have to try to answer back.
Yeah, and they're coming in with a very similar comp with the Moira. This is what they've been playing on attack, and it's a bit more dynamic than the Baptiste. Plays with a bit further close to the team, but you are losing that damage.
But a lot more survivability. A nice immortality field for Diego in that fight, as the Maywall was perfectly placed from Mini-Veil, but Mini-Veil himself was punished. Goes stick, next goes 91 goes down, and he's winning their first fight on defense.
Yeah, that was a great fight. And Denial has already got the Blizzard. Compare that to Mini-Veil, only 30%. That's a really dominant fight by him. And an early use of that could lead to a second and lead to a snowball here. I think they just need to play this really aggressively. Yeah, honestly, that blocked so much damage, and it kept the fight alive for them. And they're playing kind of passively here.
Yep, just hiding behind statue right now.
Yeah, waiting for the cooldown.
Yep, and air control lessons at show time. They push Ed, big charge to fly once. Flat. Daniel gets through the Maywall, but the Deadeye comes to the other side. A3 falls to a fire strike. Self-destruct right into his face. Is able to roll out of the way. Gets the kill onto the Pilot Evil with the Deadeye. Rolls out of the way to self-destruct. And I think it's nothing more than a consolation prize. A little bit of a moral victory. So Sniper eventually goes down to Trionics.
Yeah, that was well timed. He just got out of there, but it doesn't matter. Ghostic gets back in mech. He survives. But what do you think BlueWhites need to do here to take the first point? Do you think they just need to go in a bit closer together? And they switch over to the Baptiste.
They do switch to a Bap. I think it's going to be a good May wall. Separate Diego, which is exactly what we're seeing. A3 gets stunned up. He does get the shatter down, but the sound barrier is there to keep them all alive, and Existence are able to LOS the Blizzard. Nobody gets caught in that thing, but it does separate Diego from the rest of the pack. Minivale falls along the way, and it's 5v5 as the sound barrier is invested from the attacking team. They're going to push in, devalue the Ant Matrix, try to work around it, and not allow them the defense to utilize that double damage. They're going to find the kill on Daniel in the process, and now are hammering at David Enzo on the point. BlueWhites, they use the main walls to perfection there to win that fight. Now they just have to fight off the stall as Existence threatening to contest.
Yeah, and I think it's the easily contestable. But oh my god, Diego Hutch goes down. How that ruins the contestable.
Yeah, it was that Ant Matrix blocking the choke.
Yeah.
A little bit of a late investment, but a worthy investment from Ollie.
Yeah, you charge it so quickly, so it is like a cooldown. And they're playing really aggressive here, trying to catch them off guard. But Existence back out and clear the point B really well from regroup. So Umi Sniper is coming up with a Deadeye, and we've seen him block so many of these, especially with the high ground.
There. He tries to respond, but didn't really seem to find anything with it. Daniel was able to use that ice block to avoid that. That was self-destruct thrown in over the back of the defense. And that was a lot of ult invested from BlueWhites, and really nothing to go for. So those just turn to the fight, just able to pick up one. They're going to charge forward past the Ant Matrix from running into a sound barrier as well as a Deadeye, and Apex cannot survive all of the ults, all the damage coming through. 2 kills prepared in the back, including Mini Veil as well as A3. Now it's Trionics coming through the pairs. The Blizzard choose to close out the fight.
Yeah, and holding of this choke is so important, so powerful for the defenders. Denaro is pulling off some amazing May walls, and Mini Veil switches back to the opposing May. The Doomfist just wasn't working for him. He was getting so much value on the May, and I think that's a good opportunity to switch back.
From the high ground, BlueWhites are going to force Existence back, try to catch him out with the wall, and they catch him with it.
There we go.
The shatter comes through from the other side, but the follow-up's not quite there, so he's going to find that kill, but A3 falls, separated from the pack. Ghostic forced to use the self-destruct. But here comes Zuomi, trying to keep BlueWhites in this fight. The Finnish squad is able to muscle through despite using their main take early. A huge flashbang from the other side, but Trionics is going to get punished in the end.
Yeah, that was that, and they will get be able to regroup for this final point. But what I want to point out is that the May walls on both teams are getting constant value. That's what they're constantly getting picks from those May walls, and just goes to show how good May is on King's Road. You get so much value, and Ryan is coming up to Sada. He doesn't get anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Almost like he hit his own May wall there. Maybe he just found the shield around the side. Either way, the kills are coming through. It's only really heating up the newest addition to this team, proving their worth and showing their value here on point B.
Yeah, he's really popping off. He's clicking heads. And what I want to point out is his high noons have been good, but his flashbangs have been very consistent. He's catching SR Freezy, Senior Freezy out time and time again when he's playing overly aggressive.
See if Ghostic can eat yet another Blizzard on this attack that would allow them to use their sound barrier aggressively. They're just going to kite back from Jonathan's Deadeye, fall into the hallway, and that they just run out from 2 ultimates and let them run their course. Now BlueWhites do have an advantage. They're trying to push back in. Only doing a little flash fed there as the Blizzard comes through, goes to the sound barrier.
There he escapes
alive through that, and then drops the Deadeye. Suomi finds the Onion with it. Just as the opening ticket they're looking for. He's going to find the kill onto the counterpart, Reinhardt. And they're going to push in with that Immortality alive and claim this corner. And now it just looks like Existence are scrambling, but a late boot kill. Senior Freezy able to sit 8 moves down. It might slow this progress on the card for BlueWhites.
Yeah, honestly, that listening to Rein there is really important for x6tence to hold this fight. And they've got their own Rein back now with Diego Rocha, and the tempo is in their favor.
Senior Frenzy gets yet another boot through a wonderful sound barrier in to reclaim the corner. He's going to return and find one as A3 is now back in this fight. Ghost is able to prove that they're able to step up to the challenge with those roller skates as well. A3 in a lot of trouble, is going to get hammered down from Diego though, and with Trionyx's pair of early kills, the defense hangs on with 40 seconds left.
Yeah, they do get out, but it's going to be a struggle here for BlueWhites to cap this point. They're only coming up with the Blizzard, and that Blizzard is easily counterable by David Enzo. But x6tence don't have anything coming up either. So it's all going to come down to David Enzo, and are they going to be able to eat this Blizzard?
Coming out first. Has the shadow ready to go. It's going to throw it on to A3, but gets frozen up. The Blizzard denies the follow-up, and Diego's in a lot of trouble. Self-destruct denied by the immortality field as the DPS of BlueWhites are able to get work done here on the back points. Overtime wick is burning. They've got to be perfect from here on out if they want to send us to extra innings. Now it's just a matter of holding off the stall and the Deadeye and the Blizzard coming through the DPS.
You know, we've got also coming on the line for both teams, and High Noon and the Blizzard on the side of x6tence. And so he's looking for that big High Noon. He couldn't find anyone.
But Diego was in a lot of trouble, and that is going to do it. Soundbarrier there to close things out. Self-destructive zone up to the point, and BlueWhites will send us into extra innings. Both teams, 3 points on the board. Both teams, 60 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, now this is the game. Keeping this game alive, and wow. I mean, both teams are playing out of their minds here. What a defensive Blizzard. Like, I was looking for a big clutch play from the DPS who's getting picks and getting huge walls all game. But that defensive Blizzard saved their team and then let them cap point. Incredible. Really, really big play from Minivale. And they're on defense here. And we're looking at a similar sort of comp they've been lining up with all game. The May McCree, looking for those big walls that we've had all game. And Ollie's looked like he was getting more value off the Baptiste than the Moira, especially on defense. I think that extra damage and the extra sustain with the immortality, the sustain from the burst, is really, really important.
Both teams struggled to capture point A. It took them much longer than 60 seconds on both of their respective attacks. Who got their chance first to come in here and see if they can get them happening. They're charging forward, but Diego's getting frozen up in a lot of trouble. Both of the mentality fields already is. No more safety net left for either squad. And with losing Diego early, x6tence are going to wisely reset.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. And I think both walls popped out there very, very early. I think, Trionyx picks up Ghost 91 and they're going to push in from this.
That can be absolutely map winning as they rotate around. BlueWhites don't have much to play with. They got to fall all the way back at Matrix out from both sides as the progress starts coming through. 60% and counting. Trionyx has this Deadeye ready to go. A3 is going to fall, and that's going to be the nail in the coffin. 4 points on the board for x6tence.
Yeah, this is going to be that was a really, really big pick. This side of x6tence.
Big hero plays from Trionyx.
Yeah, honestly, Trionyx, he's had a good game. He's had a good game, but I think he was being outshadowed by Sumi Sniper. But honestly, that might have just turned the tide here.
The momentum is everything in Overwatch. This could be the moment where the comeback truly starts as the Deadeye is dropped. Ghostic is able to fly back onto the safe side of the May wall.
Yeah, and they're going to
good. Immortality field perfectly placed here once again, keeping Diego in this fight. Overtime wick is burning, so it's just not step foot off the charts, trying to batter through their own main wall to find an opening from the other side. Shatter is out but finds nothing. Double damage into a blizzard. The idol with a dying wish might have just saved it, denied the follow-up. Self-destruct and down by are invested. Self-destruct from both sides. It is David Enzo finding the kills. Ghost 91 goes down. Now there, sound barrier. The later sound barrier, typically the fight winner, able to get x6 into this fight, able to get aggressive on the back and push all the way to the end of Street's face.
Yeah, Ghost got caught out there away from his team. His team backed up and Ghost was just holding the front line on his own. Really, really struggling. But I think they're going to be able to hold here for the last fight on point B. BlueWhites are coming in with nothing, while Existence is coming with a shadow. Oh! They got
somehow it doesn't quite come through. I thought there was a Maywall that he's trying to touch. I mean, Ghost walked over to the wrecking ball, but anyway, he sliced it. There's 5 points on the board. Diego did invest the shatter there. Now that I come to the other side, shatter from the defense is going to find 3 and will finally stop this part. But they have 60 seconds on the clock, and Existence are able to get 5 points on the board. This is going to be a tall ask for BlueWhites if they want to close out the series.
Yeah, from what we saw from the first round, this is going to be a struggle. This is 100% going to be a struggle. BlueWhites just need to clear their minds and say, we can still win this. It's going to be difficult, but you've seen how dominant that team can be.
I mean, I feel like we're just watching the confidence of Existence swell right before our eyes. Like, they just got it together. They suddenly, it was that point B. It was point B on their first attack. You could see a switch just flipped, and suddenly this game is looking very up in the air.
Yeah, for sure. You could see the reverse sweep here coming on, and well, fingers crossed, because wow, like both of these teams are playing incredibly. BlueWhites need to pull it together and think about how they can cap this the whole time. Their Maywalls need to be on point. Somi Sniper needs to be able to hit those dead eyes.
Karen has been an absolute lifesaver for Existence all day long as well. Starting off a little rough, getting picked early. BlueWhites need to do that again. They've got to find Karen. They're waiting to get that back piece out of there. Or just Maywall off Diego burn it down. They're going to find Diego along the way. Immortality Zone once again keeps Diego alive, but not long enough as that kill does eventually come through and BlueWhites succeed on their first attack in extra innings.
Well, if you want to cap this is exactly the start you need. If they have any chance of finishing this point. And like, they need to be aggressive here, they just need to be. Especially when they have time in the bank. So that provides exactly what they should be doing. But Existence are going to be holding the choke here, and we notice how hard it is to cap against win a fight when the defense are holding this choke. They struggled. Oh, immortality.
Yeah, the BlueWhites have that Ant Matrix out, and like you say, I mean, Karen's immortality kept them alive. Minivale had them caught in. Now it's Existence dropping the Ant Matrix of their own. The wall there to try to block that damage, and now we've got a little bit of a V. It's looking very cold on Team Throw and Minivale. It's feeling very chilly indeed. That's 2 kills for the defense. Existence might have just done a storming, trying to turn it around. Goes around on the off angle, is able to get one. The defense matrix is only alive, but 8-3 falls on the front line, and there's nobody left on card. Existence get the goose egg out of their map score, and they start to bring it back. We're 2-1 after 3.
Yeah, and Existence had just turned this game around. They were like, you know what? We can match them. We can even beat them. Like, they've been playing from that point B defense and from that point B attack. They've turned things around in every single position.
I still say it goes back to a little bit of hubris is what it feels like. It was when Ghost 91 and the pilot demo of Ghostic stuck around on the cart after the fight had long been lost. We can see this is a smart team. They knew they needed to reset. They knew they needed to come back and just taxi the bulk of their squad in and hold the back of point B. That was the turn of the tide. That was when the winds totally shifted from BlueWhites to Existence. Now BlueWhites have their map pick as we head into map number 4. Existence will get to choose the side.
Yeah, and you saw that it only had 40k heals across that map. 40k.
That's nuts.
I don't think I've ever seen that many heals. Like, I wish I was playing main tank in that game. Like, incredible. And the amount of damage that's coming out on both sides, just from like, this is like ghost sort of damage. Insane.
That's goat sort of healing. My
Yeah.
goodness. And I have to go back to Karen's immortality fields. Like, I mean, just saving those fights time and time again, just when Diego seems to be in the most dire of situations. Karen is right there with the frisbee of life, keeping them in that fight just long enough for them to break the May wall, to get the healing in. And Diego was able to win that main tank difference in multiple fights. As we're looking at map number 4, we're headed to Assault. BlueWhites map pick. They've chosen Havana. We're headed to Japan. Oh, Hanamura,
Hanamura.
excuse me. The other
It's all
H
good.
map.
Yeah,
I
that's the
can see
one.
it in my head, right? I said Japan. I could, but yeah. Hanamura.
So yeah, like even when we when the camera went to Ken, he had a line of sight of Diego every single time. Like even if it was through a May wall on top of a May wall, his positioning was on point. And that's how you got to play Baptiste. Your positioning matters so much, and where you place that immortality fields and the timing. You can't use them too early. A second too early, and you lose your value. And a second too late, you lose value. And they were on point.
Absolutely on point. Another thing that was on point was the ult usage coming through from Existence in that one. They weren't nearly as haphazard with their ults. Stayed neck and neck in the ult economy. I'm thinking on point B where they're able to use the later sound barrier. They're able to survive the onslaught of ultimates and not invest everything too early. I mean, similar thing like you're talking about. The timing is so perfect. And if you can survive the onslaught from the other side and then counterpunch with your own sound barrier, with your own immortality field or in your own amp matrix, then you have a massive advantage. And we saw that happen multiple times, particularly in that all-important street phase for Existence. And it really put the momentum at their back. I mean, it really just drove them forward. And now they've got a real shot in this thing. I mean, I was talking about the importance of momentum in Overwatch earlier. Existence are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and something I want to point out is that their ability usage, they were using their abilities second, and that's what you want to be doing in Overwatch. Mini Veil was the dominant May and the dominant flex DPS on the first 2 maps, but after that, Tanayo, he's been picking himself up. He's been playing amazingly. He's usually been using his May walls better, second most of the time. Been more reactive, which is he's been playing a good game. Getting a lot less blizzards eaten.
Yep, that's what I was thinking as well. Like showing a little more respect to Ghost Stick, realizing they are capable of DMing that Blizzard, and well, Daniel is able to adjust and is now finding much better placement, much more value out of that ultimate on top of the May walls that you've been referencing.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, you're talking about tempo, and I think having good tempo and going into a 2CP map is just so important. Otherwise, this 2CP you can snowball so easily on point A and then towards point B, and having tempo on 2CP is really important. And it coming up as 4th map, it just sets the stage for a reverse sweep, just perfectly.
Well, I think we've really started to see an identity form between these two teams. It's BlueWhites hyper aggressive. I mean, just want to get in your face and come out swinging haymakers right out of the gate. Existence are more of a counterpunch team. And if they can survive that aggressive initial onslaught, they're able to strike back. And as long as they don't get flustered and throw too much in early against that, if they can play disciplined and maintain those cooldowns, use those cooldowns second, use those ultimate seconds, then that's when they take the advantage. Existence is going to start us off on the attack as we head into Hanamura.
Yo, look at the Sims strat here. Where's it going? Up top.
Yeah, we're gonna rotate around. It's Sim and May, so not a lot of raw damage. He's gonna rely on the front lines and be just impeccable. May walls. That one I don't think is quite gonna cut it as the Ideal goes down early. Mortality thrown in aggressively to allow Avery to get that 5 win over Diego. And the defense of BlueWhites should hold, though not without suffering some casualties as Mini Veil goes down.
Yeah, they might be able to come back to this quickly and reset and dominate and snowball. But you can get damage. You can get damage if you can get just Symmetra set up. But they just couldn't do that with the opposing May wall with Mini Veil blocking him off. And that's just perfectly played from Mini Veil. He just stopped Sim getting any value there.
Well, it's not that they don't have any damage. That was not quite what I meant. You're absolutely right. That can definitely get some damage down. It's just, it doesn't seem to be a lot of raw damage.
Yeah, totally. And oh my god, they're not back. They gotta get off point there and give up position.
Well, they have some progress to play with. Dan Matrix, well, not going to find anything, but Diego does eventually fall. He just barely stepped back through it. He's a ton of damage. Sound barrier a touch late coming out from the attacking resistance. They're going to go ahead and invest in their self-destruct as well. Nearly 2 ticks of progress coming through. Xiaomi is going to fall, but here comes the counter punch back from our aggressive BlueWhites. The Blizzard is perfect. 2 kills under the belt, including the Baptiste. Sustained, gone, and there goes everybody else.
And that covered the whole of the point. Whole of it. And if you're gonna get 2 ticks, that's okay. That's okay if you're gonna get 2 ticks.
They didn't even
but if they're gonna
2 ticks.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. But you've got to cap that. You've got to cap that. You're gonna have so much trouble otherwise. They're coming into this with a May Blizzard and a Symmetra wall. 2 types of walls.
Photon barrier coming out. Teleport over to the left-hand side, and now just move on to the point. And Matrix over the back, and it's going to force BlueWhites to retreat a little bit. But the Blizzard doesn't really seem to find anything. Now the self-destruct thrown back in. Immortality building from alive. Shatter down is going to find 3, including both supports, and Mini Veil falls. Charge coming through from Diego, and A3 is in a lot of trouble. On the wrong side of the tracks, he gets taken down. The Legion sits back and spawn. No more main tank, no more shield for defense. And they're going to have to just relegate to this point and fall back to point B.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I thought that May Blizzard came out a little bit early and then BlueWhites can come back onto the point, but Diego Ocho came out with a huge shatter which just cleared up the rest of the fight. And interesting, BlueWhites are coming out with a monkey to counter out the Symmetra. What do you think of that, Vulcan?
I mean, it could work. I mean, this is straight bulldozer here. This is the composition designed to run over double shield. I mean, a lot of cleave potential as the teleport right onto the objective, and the Winston is right in the middle of it. Ghost Stick is already 60% as the shatter comes through from BlueWhites, and 2 kills are the result. Now they're able to just push through, fleet up. Ghost Stick already has Primal online after making that swap. I say they're getting some value out of this Winston.
Yeah, in about 20 seconds he gets his primal, and I think that Winston pick was perfect. It's exactly what they needed. They're going to come in as a big group, and they're gonna play together very, very tightly. So we're going to get so much cleave. And when you don't have like all the healing with a Moira, they're gonna struggle to stay up. But they switch off the Symmetra. The Symmetra is a one-time thing. It was a good play, but I don't think the monkey is going to see so much value here now they switched on to Mercury.
Over the high ground. As you can see, Ghost is down low. Ghost 91 falls as the Primal comes out, but he's already moved on to the objective. Speed in, drop their Blizzard and zone out BlueWhites. Try to claim the part of their own, plant their flag, and force the BlueWhites to steal it back. BlueWhites do have a Blizzard of their own, and the South Bay are keeping Miniville alive through the flash fan, and Nathan's going to win the main tank battle on the point. And that's going to be enough to help them hold on with 2:22 left on the clock.
Yeah, Minivale didn't even need to commit that Blizzard. I thought maybe he did, but I mean the tanks are just dominating. They're really every time they push in, the tanks have just have an answer to them. And Existence don't have a single ultimate coming up. Well, Minivale has Blizzard, and I think this Blizzard is just going to be massive. David Enzo, it's really on him to try and counteract it if they want any chance in this fight.
Scared between a battle for high ground. The wall is there to put the wall from Minivale. It's going to protect the BlueWhites as they fall back to the objective. Existence just following them down as they drop into the low ground. And Xiaomi's going to punish Karen, and Diego falls as well. Existence dropped right into a kill box, right into a death trap, and Xiaomi is there.
Yeah, Xiaomi is just picking up every single kill. He's like, yes, please. They don't even need the Blizzard there. I thought maybe they're going to drop it when they all walk through up high ground, but Minivale's like, no, we know we're good enough. We know we're going to win this. And like, they're just dominating this defense really, really well, and they're giving Existence a really hard time pushing in through this choke. And the Existence do have Window and High Noon coming up, and I wonder if they're going to combo those two ultimates. And they don't have a beat on the side of BlueWhites.
Gets eaten, mini veil, but A3 finds 3 kills. Once again, the Maywall has divided X6 in half, and A3 just cleaves through the half that were caught on his side of the ice wall.
Yeah, and you do see why A3 is such a dominant player in this BlueWhites team. He can really carry fights on his own as this Reinhardt. He's making this game his own. Like, he's playing really, really well and really aggressively when needed. But both teams are coming up with big ultimates here. Existence coming up with the Blizzard, High Noon, Shatter, Bomb, and a beat. Well, BlueWhites are coming up with beat, Shatter, and a High Noon. And this is really, really important to see some value out of these ultimates.
Jumping in, the Shatter comes through! The Deadeye gets 1, but the rest is all BlueWhites finds 4. And overtime, we're just gonna burn down. They give up 50% of progress, but I mean, unless this bomb is the best bomb I've ever seen, they are not gonna find any more than that. As David Enzo gets his neck deleted, overtime quick is starting to burn down. Senior Frenzy trying to stall with their best, but will not be enough to find any more than that 50%.
When you talk about A3 making this game his own, he was like, they've got 5 ultimates. Alright, we just need to pull out a 5-man Shatter. Okay. Like this, he's got an answer to everything they threw at him through that defense. He just made that choke his own. Like he oh wow, he dominated that kill box through that choke. A3 playing a huge game, but Xiaomi Sniper, I just want to make a note of this, and he's just pumping out so much damage on this McCree, and those flashbangs, they're making Existence really, really scared. You can tell, like they're pushing in and looking for Xiaomi Sniper every time because those flashes have been getting picks consistently.
Xiaomi Sniper, a big reason why BlueWhites are now in prime position to take the series 3-1. Existence coming on the defense, no changes in their composition, Bolton.
No changes. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see this, especially when they think they might be pulling out a Symmetra. This is a very good anti-Symmetra comp with the Mei and McCree and Bab.
To navigate the early Mei wall, she's in a lot of trouble. We're not even getting them alive temporarily with the Mei dodge field now gone. Trace comes through, but it's Diego falling. Now A3 falls, and the defense have an advantage. They are able to get into as well, so an opportunity for a power play, but it's not going to be on this fight.
Yeah, the defense Mei wall came out late, and because Mini Veil went down early, and they just locked them inside the choke and just cleared up. Really, really good play from Existence, dominant, and it means the team can get back that little stagger. Those extra few seconds are really important.
Yeah, Senior Frenzy is just able to get the tanks back into the battlefield in time. As it's going to be a Mei wall used to protect the entrance from BlueWhites.
Yeah, rotating high ground.
Yep, you're circling up top. We're going to try to close this distance. They do have an Matrix ready to go, but same can be said for Existence. It also has a Windmill coming online. Both of the double damage and Matrix are now out. And it looks like BlueWhites are needing to try to wait them out a little bit, but Ghost 91 gets caught out by the 200-point Fire Strike. And without that speed, the BlueWhites cannot support their signature aggression. And now they kind of look like they're caught in an awkward spot. Though, Diego gets caught out. Diego's going to go ahead and invest the Blizzard in. And now Mini Veil is in a tough situation. Already used that ice block. Ghost Stick keeps him alive somehow. Mini Veil gets that kill. Self-destruct out from the defense, but it's not going to be enough. A3 is able to find the ideal. What a play from Ghost Stick. That was looking downhill. Ghost Stick just saved that attack.
Yeah, and every single fight, you can say with BlueWhites that they look down, but they're never out. Never out. Ghost Stick brings them back into the fight. And they're coming into this fight with the ultimate advantage, with a beat, window, bomb, Shatter, and no, not Shatter, and Deadeye and a Blizzard. And Snowball could be on here. Is this going to be a map win? Oh, wow. But the thing is, Ghost 91 just needs to stop getting picked early. Please stop getting picked early. Well, you want your team to be aggressive.
Indeed, it's part of their trademark from what we've seen. And remember, BlueWhites only need 50%, so Existence, they don't have a lot of room to work with. They don't have a lot of time to give up on this objective. Self-Shark's going in over the top. Shield is there. Sound Barrier thrown in to try to pounce on the remaining members of BlueWhites, who are still sitting on that high ground, and they are going to find a pair. Now they're able to push down onto the point. Both support ults already used. 2 kills come through, but it's not going to be enough for BlueWhites to take this. The support ult's late, and they still don't net them the point. Look how close that was. 49.1.
Oh my, like, that's another split second and they would have capped that. That was such good timing from Existence. And they held that perfectly. BlueWhites threw out that Diva Bomb, and they threw out the High Noon, and they tried to stall them off point, but they just took out last second. Like, that was an unreal play. And they're switching over, oh, they switched over back to the Diva. They decided to switch and go stick on this Diva they've been playing so well on. And they were coming up with a Blizzard and a High Noon on the side of Existence here, and that's just, both 2 ultimates are so important for holding a defense here. BlueWhites are rotating underneath.
Don't make the same mistake as they quickly get out of the kill box and they push up top. Atronics is on the high ground with Jedi at their back. Eats a lot of damage, and Esports going to drop it early. Does actually get the DMAC in, and with A3 down, there's no more tanks left standing, so BlueWhites are going to have to back out. This is a lost fight.
Yeah, it's not just a Diva Mech, it's Ghost's Diva Mech, and that is absolutely huge. And without your Diva there, you're just going to be struggling to cap the point. Ghost's been such a big player for BlueWhites in these last few maps. I think BlueWhites just need to try and do a dry run and stack ultimates. I mean, they don't look like the team to really run that strategy, but I think it's probably a good thing if they do.
We'll see if they choose to invest as they head up to the high ground with those 2 DPS ults moving online. Shatter comes through, finds Mini Veil, and Mini Veil is going to fall. Blizzard invested in from the defense. He only is going to go ahead and throw down the Dead Eye. He's able to pick up 1 before going down, but that's the only kill BlueWhites are going to find. Ghost 91 tried to sneak in a cap, but no dice.
No dice, indeed. And it's just like running into a brick wall here. Existence are defending this point B really, really well. Their Denial's walls have been on point, and that Blizzard just won them that fight.
Fighting for their tournament lives here. They have to hold on to those last precious 15%. As the Shatter comes through, A3 is huge. The Blizzard is there as well. And that's 2 quick kills. Looking for the connect onto David. They're able to use that selfish rock out to try to get back in. Mac and Miniville falls. Ghostic goes down as well. So we'll be trying to hold on, but they've lost their main tank now. And the defense of Existence narrowly hang on to this objective.
Oh yeah, and Sentinel Freeze gets 2. That's absolutely incredible Lucio play there. Very, very aggressive, but it block captures. But they've only got the beat, and maybe a Blizzard coming online if they charge it quick enough for this last fight. And you see how BlueWhites have been pushing in. They do not take their time. You are not getting poke against this team. They're going to be straight onto point, and it is dangerous. Xiaomi Sniper coming up to a High Noon, and he's been getting value out of these High Noons all game. Bomb comes out.
Hold on, one more fight. Oh, but the bomb gets 2! Their home fight has just been dashed by Ghostic. Supreme ultimate. Stormy's gonna find 1 as well, and half the defense is already gone. This all fell apart so quickly. The sound barrier is in for Ghost 91, and the cleanup starting to come. As Ghost 91 is able to finish off 1, H3 is able to finish off another. The Wrecking Ball in from Diego, but doesn't last long. And there comes the cap. It was so close. She just had 1 more fight to go, but alas, BlueWhites will take Hanamura in the 3-1 victory in our series.
Yeah, Ghostic coming out clutch once again. And like, what a Diva Bomb. That came out of nowhere. It caught 2 of the players off guard. It caught Diego, and once your main tank's down, you're going to be in trouble. The BlueWhites are so aggressive, and they're going to push on you so quickly that you're going to struggle to hold the point.
I believe that caught Senior Frenzy as well, who had
Oh,
Sound Barrier ready to go. As we see, Ghostic had 73% kill participation, just to give you an indication of the impact Ghostic had on this series, uh, on that off tank role. But yeah, I believe Senior Freezy had Sound Barrier ready to go. I know they had Sound Barrier, but I believe they got caught in that self destruct. And it was really, that was the only other ultimates online for the teams at that moment. And once that Sound Barrier was off the table, BlueWhites are just able to pop their own, get that extra 600 shielding, move in and find those additional kills, put forth that hyper aggression we had seen from them in the previous two maps. The previous three maps, really, but the first two maps where it succeeded, and they're able to close out this fight. But it went the distance. Like, it was so one sided the first two maps. And man, I thought Existence had it. Like, that they were so close to sending us to that precious map 5.
yeah. I wanted to see that map 5, and honestly, fair play to Existence. They came back after being really dominated on the first two maps, and they just came back and fought for their lives, fought for their tournament lives, like you said. But BlueWhites, they weren't having any of it. They knew what they needed to do. Ghostic, what a final play there! I thought that that Diva Bomb was going up the high ground, and it caught Senor Freezy out. So.
It kind of did. Like, if you're looking at the square that was that high ground, it landed on the corner, but on the outside of that corner. So where the LOS hit high ground and low, I mean, like, that was an absolutely picturesque Diva Bomb. I couldn't do that in 100 tries. I'm telling you. And speaking of Ghostic, I mean, I think we've got to give Ghostic our player of the match. Like, it's not, I don't know, it's technically official, but for my eye test, for my personal opinion, as your humble caster, Ghostic, I mean, was eating blizzards all day long, was saving teammates right when it mattered most, and just some fantastic self-destructs like the one we saw in that very final fight to help push it over the edge and win Hanamura.
Yeah, both defensive and offensive self-destructs there from Ghostic. But for the side of BlueWhites, I want to give A3 a shout out.
Sure.
He played so well on that Reinhardt, dominating multiple fights, and some of the shatters he hit, I couldn't do those if I had God on my side. Insane.
The shatter on
player.
King's Row where he's hiding behind the statue, and we saw Diego come one way and he just shatters the other side. And you think A3 is about to get pounced on and just immediately sent back to spawn? No, 5-man shatter. Is the fastest fight win of the day. Oh, just impressive stuff. Impressive stuff. But
yeah,
we're done with our first match, but we're not done with the day. We're going to come back. We're going to have the intermediate division ready to go. We're going to see Ramen taking on Power Corgis when we return. We'll give some big thanks to ExpressVPN for this tournament, and we can't wait to keep it going. We're going to see you back here in just a few with more Get Good.